Lewis Hamilton has looked more like a lost tourist in the SF25 than the champion we once knew wheel-to-wheel with Rosberg, Vettel, and Verstappen. After 4 races of underwhelming pace, confusing feedback, and public frustration, Ferrari has just one question on its mind. What went wrong, and can they fix it in time to rescue Hamilton's season? From the moment Hamilton signed, with Ferrari, expectations soared. A 7-time world champion joining the sport's most storied team should have been fireworks. Instead, the season began with a cruel optimism trap. Pre-season tests showed pace. Early sessions suggested promise. The SF25 looked ready to fight McLaren and Red Bull. And Hamilton, for a brief flash in China, even grabbed pole and sprint. Win. Fans dared to believe. But by the end of Shanghai, the sparkle was gone. The opening races unfolded like a play in 4 acts. In Bahrain, Hamilton struggled with rear instability and understeer under braking. In Saudi Arabia, he finished 7th while Leclerc roared home 3rd. In Australia, the car underperformed again. And in Jeddah, Norris sailed past him for P2, leaving Hamilton to fend off a Williams for a lowly P7. A 7-time champion, squeezed by midfield cars. It was baffling. Journalist Ian Parks went straight to the heart of the issue. Imbalance. Not a vague aerodynamic gripe, but a full-blown identity crisis. The SF25 simply doesn't speak Hamilton's language. It's like asking him to dance salsa in ski boots. Everything feels offbeat and slippery. Until now, Ferrari's engineers had no clear diagnosis. They tried tweaks, small upgrades, and setup changes. Nothing stuck. Team principal Fred Vasseur has been remarkable in his response. No panic, no public finger-pointing. Instead, a calm confidence. He backed Hamilton fully, pointed to the data, and shared that the team now understands the root cause. The car's behavior isn't universally bad, it's just not compatible with Hamilton's style. Leclerc adapted quickly because he has grown up with Ferrari's machinery. Hamilton, by contrast, spent over a decade mastering machines built on entirely different philosophies. That clarity is Ferrari's first real upgrade. Once you know what's broken, you can fix it. The diagnosis: a mismatch between Hamilton's inputs and the SF25's feedback loops. Every corner entry, every brake application, every throttle lift felt unpredictable. Hamilton's confidence eroded lap by lap, and when a driver loses belief, performance crumbles. Vasseur treated Hamilton not as a short-term asset to salvage, but as a long-term investment to nurture. He kept media noise low, shielded his driver from speculation, and directed engineers to focus on the core issue. No quick fixes, no magic winglets. The plan: rebuild the car's balance around Hamilton's needs, not force Hamilton to wrestle a broken philosophy. Behind the scenes, Ferrari's wind tunnel and simulator teams have shifted focus. They're re-evaluating rear suspension geometry, adjusting floor stiffness, and refining brake bias maps. In Maranello, the air is different. Engineers talk openly, feedback loops tighten, and every department collaborates. Hamilton himself has logged extra hours in the simulator, working side by side with aerodynamics and chassis experts. He's not there for PR. He's there to shape the car's soul. The upgrade package headed to Miami is the first test of this new approach. It won't be a revolutionary overhaul. Those take months. But expect targeted interventions, a revised rear suspension pickup point, small changes to the floor's diffuser edges, and a tweaked brake cooling duct that improves rear bite under heavy braking. Software calibrations will complement hardware tweaks, smoothing throttle response and making the car's reactions more linear. Miami's sprint weekend limits practice time, so Ferrari's team will work around the clock. Hamilton's feedback will guide real-time adjustments to ride height and setup. Success there won't look like a win. McLaren is too strong and Red Bull still lurks. But a solid Q3 performance, a confident long run, and a car that behaves predictably will count as a victory. If Miami goes well, it could mark the season's emotional turning point. Hamilton will leave with renewed belief. Ferrari's morale will surge. Charles Leclerc, already in rhythm, will sense the team's momentum, and the paddock will sit up and take notice. Ferrari is serious. They diagnosed the problem. They acted. They're rebuilding. Of course, challenges remain. McLaren leads by 188 points from a possible 215. Ferrari sits 110 points back in fourth place. Mercedes fights back to relevance. Red Bull's pace is erratic but dangerous. The championship picture looks bleak. But Formula One rewards patience and precision as much as raw speed. History is full of mid-season comebacks born from a single moment when a team found its solution. Hamilton thrives on rhythm and feedback. When the SF25 started talking back in China's sprint race, he felt at ease for 100 kilometers. That was the moment the foundation showed promise. The upcoming upgrades aim to turn that promise into performance across a full weekend. They address exactly the issues Hamilton highlighted: rear grip loss under braking, inconsistent downforce under heavy fuel loads, and a vague balance at corner exit. Vasseur's leadership is reshaping Ferrari's culture. He's prioritizing data, encouraging open debate, and rewarding constructive criticism. In a paddock that trades in drama, Ferrari is choosing strategy over spectacle. They're building bridges between driver and machine, not chasing silver bullets. This season isn't over, it's barely begun. Hamilton's move to Ferrari will be remembered not for the early struggles, but for how he and the team responded. They embraced discomfort. They sought clarity. They took the long view. And if Miami shows the first signs of harmony between Hamilton and the SF25, the narrative will shift from crisis to comeback. That's the power of diagnosis and belief. When a team stops guessing and starts fixing, results tend to follow. So when Hamilton steps into the cockpit in Miami, he won't just be racing a car. He'll be testing a new philosophy. A philosophy that says, know your problem, own it, fix it, and move forward together. No one expected this rocky start. But champions are defined by how they respond to adversity. For Hamilton, this is more than a season. It's the next chapter of his legacy. For Ferrari, it's a chance to reclaim their identity. And for fans, it's a lesson in patience, collaboration, and the quiet power of clear thinking. The paddock is watching, the fans are waiting. And in Maranello, a team once lost in its own drama is finding focus. Miami will tell us if Ferrari's diagnosis holds true. If it does, the SF25 might finally begin to sing in Hamilton's hands. And if it doesn't, the work continues, because this story is still being written. Whether this season ends in triumph or simply in progress, Hamilton's journey with Ferrari already teaches us something important. Greatness isn't just about getting it right the first time. It's about having the courage to admit you're wrong, the wisdom to diagnose the issue, and the resolve to rebuild stronger than before. So as the sun sets on Miami's long straight and the city lights begin to glow, remember this: the real race isn't over the weekend. It's inside Maranello, inside the wind tunnel, inside the cockpit, and inside Hamilton's mind. And in that race, Ferrari has finally found the exit from confusion. Now comes the hard part: turning that clarity into speed. Ferrari's upgrade in Miami isn't a magic fix, but it is a clear step forward. In free practice sessions, Hamilton and Leclerc will work side by side to compare the old and new parts. The revised rear suspension pickup point should give Hamilton more confidence when he brakes hard into turn 11, and the adjusted floor edges aim to keep the rear of the car feeling planted through the faster sections. Rather than chasing outright lap time on Friday, Ferrari will focus on gathering data on ride height sensitivity and observing how the car behaves with a full fuel load. Hamilton's extra simulator hours will pay off here, as he'll feed back on small details: how the car rotates, how the tires lock, and whether the balance feels stable under braking. It won't be perfect immediately, but each run will hone in on the sweet spot. Qualifying in Miami will be the real test of whether Ferrari's diagnosis holds water. The city's street-style layout mixes long straights with slow, tight corners, so the SF25 must be versatile. If Hamilton can make Q3 and challenge for the second or third row, it'll be a signal that the balance issues have started to ease. A confident, controlled lap, without sudden snap understeer or twitchy rear grip, will give him the belief he's missing. Even if the top positions remain out of reach, A solid showing in the top 6 would change the narrative from struggle to progress. Then comes the sprint shootout. Unlike a traditional sprint weekend, Miami's format gives drivers just one flying lap after a short sprint shootout session. Ferrari needs the SF25 to feel stable right off the bat. The upgraded rear suspension and floor tweaks must work even on low-fuel, high-downforce trim. Hamilton's hope is that the improvements translate immediately, allowing him to fight over sprint pole or a podium.